everybody. Oops, this is not very well placed. Hello, guys. So this is the result after last class that was recorded because there was a lot of baking and testing in this process. So I recorded instead of coming live. Is there any? Does anybody have any question before we start today? No questions? Not sure if you guys are ready. You already can hear me. But anyway, so today, I don't know if you guys remember, hey Pam, that I mentioned that we always have to think about the sculpture and plan what's the next step, what will be easier. And I've decided to make the dress. The arms are still just placed there. They are not stuck to it. I can remove them anytime. And I've decided to do dress and then keep baby and arm, and they're gonna go together to her body, and this arm is gonna come last. So that's why the arm is still, I can still move elbows and wrist. And I will start today with the baby clothes. So I remove this arm, and this arm and the baby are not attached together yet. They are loosened. I can remove them and separate them. Okay, so the next step now is make the baby clothes, because this arm is going to come over the clothes, and this thumb is still not baked, so I still can adjust the thumb to fit exactly what I want the dress to be. I mean the thumb over the dress, so I can make like little indentation if I want to fit the dress. Then once I make the baby clothes, I have to make her sleeve, because the baby is going to come here and I want to attach them together. So be pretty much the same fabric as her. Maybe I can change the color a little bit so we give a little bit of a difference. Hello. This channel is not the Portuguese one. This is the English channel. There's another channel in Portuguese. And so I have some clay here that is already open, and I'm just gonna do exactly the same thing that I did for her dress. So this is just some open clay, the same color that I did the dress. I'm gonna cut it straight here. And just like my tip, which I didn't do for her dress, so I can do here now, and then you guys can see the idea. Hi, Marcia. I'm going to place the fringes here just to make a groove, so it's easier to pretend that it's coming from the same fabric. Okay, and now I'm gonna get the fabric that has the texture that I like, that looks like leather. I'm gonna place over the clay, and I'm going to roll over and press it down. So that's gonna give me a groove for where the bang is, and maybe if it's stick around, I'll just leave it. I'll see. My clay is quite sticky, so it might just stay. We'll see. Just press this part even more. Make sure it's all in there. And if this comes out, if the fringe comes out, it's fine. I will just glue it after. At least I'll have the groove. All right. So now it's probably stuck to my glass table, so I will use lamina to remove it from here. And now I have the texture and all the fabric. So I'm going to cut this just to be the same size. I don't think I will even need all of that. It might go around the baby more than once. There. And I should get the baby picture here. It's just like a little dress, long dress. There's nothing really on the baby. Actually, his fringe is a little bit different. There is some things like over here that I could even leave here and add with clay after. And I'm gonna get my baby, and the fringe kind of comes down the foot like that. Can just cover him up. We can actually even do it in parts, like we don't need to go all the way up here. Let me just measure. I'm gonna put on the side, otherwise I'm gonna cover him all. You guys won't see what I'm doing. So I can put his arms up so it doesn't get on the way. And that's why I didn't make his arms too. And I think I'm just making sure like how much I want it to be bigger than his foot, maybe a little bit more than that. Something like that to fall. And I want this to kind of go around the foot. So I'm gonna go here first and then here, kind of wrap him around like that on the foot. The foot that is not really a foot. Like this. And let this drop down. Okay, so again, we can't have air bubbles. So right now I'm just doing this so I have the bottom part ready to fall down. All these fluffy parts we're gonna have to squeeze in and remove the air. So, and then we have to shape the foldings later on. Maybe this could have an extra. Let me remove here some extra banding like that. Yeah, something like that. This clay is very sticky. I'm gonna get all the way to the baby neck. Hello. And I'm gonna cut the dress right on his neck here. I will probably lose a lot of my texture and I'll have to do it again. Just cleaning up the clay. I'm gonna put it in there, and now I'm going to get my tool and shape this dress better. Here I'm gonna have to bake and then add some piece of fabric here after, so it doesn't get the foot so marked down like that. We don't need to do it perfectly now. We can bake some steps and then add some foldings to it later. And here I can like press in to maybe make a bigger folder, even though it's nothing really going to show so much here. This baby is very well covered. I'm going to just cover the back here. That is also probably not even going to show because of our arm. And a little bit on his butt, just to cover. And then whatever you think is too much, you can pull it out, or if you think it needs more grooves and foldings, you just go ahead and mark it. This is going to be attached to her body, so it won't show really either. Just gonna remove a little bit of the volume on his back. And I'm gonna go all around his neck. It looks like a little baby ball. I don't really want the neck showing. I want it to be all covered, because babies have small necks. Move a little bit of the ball in the back here, just to give it a better shape. There you go. I think I'm happy with that. Maybe this foot is showing too much, I don't know. But I have to fit her arms, so I will have to move this around probably. Do this because her thumb is pretty much over here. And now that I have that, before even giving the texture. I mean, you can give texture more than one time. You can just get in here now and give it some texture before you place the arm, or you can give it the texture after. I keep on giving texture over and over again, so it doesn't really matter. Now I'm gonna get her arm, and I will put the arm fitting the baby. I need to get this arm a little bit lower here. Like this. And place this thumb in the right spot. I have to fix this thumb because it's not baked. But for now, I just want to see how it goes. I think this is what I want, but I will make sure it's right. I will put it to my native, because I also want to press this fabric to her dress. Thank you. So let me find the little hole in there. There we go. I like that. Yeah, I like that. And then this arm is gonna come down here. This one is gonna go on top of her arm like that. Okay. And now this arm, I will place it on top of the baby too. So, because I still can move it, so I can, for example, maybe I want the wrist to be more like that, like this, and the arm coming down a bit more. So all of that now I can put it exactly what I want to be on the baby. So it looks like it's more relaxed if I do that this way. So I like it. And now that I've done that, I can add a little bit of clay to put this together, and it won't go anywhere anymore. It won't move the shape. I mean, my wire is okay. It will keep it in place, but you can also add some clay here just so you bake it and the arm is not going to move anymore. That is an option. And now, before I go with this, I will remove it again. It's a back and forth, but now I have her little her fingers marked to the baby clothes, so that's pretty good. I like that, and I will gently remove him from here, because as I said, the baby outfit is very sticky because my clay was dried and I had to put some gel, so it got pretty sticky. And I'm gonna try to put a sleeve without removing the baby too much, or maybe I can, because it's so sticky and this is not baked. Oh, I forgot to move myself. I'm sorry, guys. So I could try to remove the baby, or I can try to leave it and try to put the sleeve in there. That's what I'm gonna do, because it's so well placed here. I really like it. I'm gonna leave it in there, and I'm going to prepare her sleeves. I don't really know what this word in English, but anyway, let me just open some clay here. And do you guys have any question while I'm opening some clay in my pasta machine? Hi, I'm in 17. Sorry, I missed your question. Let me see it again. I'm using 7 centimeter skull. 7? I don't have 7 centimeter skull, so that's not mine. You need to fit 5 eyes from one side to the other. You need to fit 5 eyes on the side, like this, to measure your size eyes. Just measure from here to here, the face, like where the face finishes, measuring from here to here, and divide by 5. This is the size of the eyeball. You need to have 5 eyeballs on the face. So it's 1 here, 1 here, 1 in the center, 1 here, and 1 here, and that helps you to find out how big the eyes must be. All right, so going back to my sleeve, I'm going to do the same thing with the fringes, but I will not let the fringes here. All I want is the groove, because I will explain why. Just give me one moment, please. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. If you guys already watched the dress class, it's the same thing that happened to her collar, the dress collar, the cut on the chest. Or I don't know if you call that a collar, but anyway. You don't want those fringes to go out. You want them to fall on the arm. So you don't really want them to be here. You want to glue them one by one after. So I just want the groove. That's pretty much about that. Oh, let me explain why. Why I don't want to leave the... Oops, get the baby out of here. So this is why. When we put her arm in there, let me put just this arm. There's another arm. The other one have the baby, so it's hard to explain. When you put the arm here and you put the fringes, if you just go around with the clay, this is going to happen. The fringe is going to go out like that. You don't want that. You want the fringes to fall. So we're going to have to glue it differently. You can't just go with the clay, because this is what's going to happen. So I'm going to go slowly and gluing them down. Okay? So I'm just going to remove the clay from here. Let me go back down here, because now I want my baby back. And I just put some groove in there. Like, I don't really need to keep the groove so tall. I can bring more clay down and cover it up. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to place it in here. Let me pull the baby out a bit. Class today, I think the class is going to be a little bit shorter today, because I don't really have a lot of things to do. Just see how long her sleeves are. Kind of cover all the arm pretty much, so I'll just go around here. You can leave it out a bit, like to have some movement. Just down here a little bit more. And here. Right, and I'm gonna cut. I should have baked the arm to do that. All right, yeah, it's better, because then the clay doesn't stick to each other. But so we can go farther with the class, I'm just doing it. It's not the best way to do it. Just like this. Because here, for example, now my clay got stuck to the arm and squeezed, and it's a little bit harder to pull it out because the arm is not baked. But it's fine. So if you're doing it at the house, just bake yours first so that doesn't happen to yours. And then put all the marks in there. Oops, and let's remove the leftover clay here. Just this way. And that's pretty much all I need, because now once I put the arm in the baby, I mean, to glue the fringes in here, it's not hard, so I can do it with the baby being in here. It doesn't get on my way. So I'm gonna put him back. And the dress was all white, if you guys didn't see the other class. So this is the same color. Not white, it's like a sand color. So I'm just gonna do this, put the baby back in there, and this is what I want. It's not turning the whole thing. There. All right, and here I want to fall in the right direction, more down here. And we can add more foldings after. We don't need to put all the foldings in there. I'm actually just concerned with the part that the baby is touching right now. Okay, and then before we bake that, we have to put the texture. Even if you are going to put more clay over here later on, you want to have to make sure that you have texture everywhere, so in case of it shows, the texture is there. And same thing with the baby, we're gonna put the texture. Then it's optional to bake the baby on her body or after her, like out of her body. It doesn't really matter. I prefer to remove the arm to bake because I still have to build this baby arm here. I still have to build this arm, and I prefer to have it out. So after pressing the clay to the right spot here, I will remove this arm again. And bake this way. And of course I have to finish this thumb before I bake it, and place press some more texture to my baby. To my baby's outfit. And that's it. Now we also have another problem. The baby doesn't have a hair. So the best thing to do is actually removing the baby, because then your hair, like this, is not going to be on your way to make the baby hair. So what can we do here? There's a few options here. Like you can just do that and build a hair the way it's possible and let it messy, because when you touch your head over an arm, your hair gets messy. So you can just figure it out and place the hair in there this way. Or you can open up a little bit and put a tin foil in there, put a tin foil between the baby and the arm, and bake it together so you don't let it move anything. Or you can completely remove both of them. Because I didn't have the arm baked, like mine are going to be pretty stuck right now, so I'm just gonna leave it this way, and I will figure out how to glue the hair in there after. I think it's not gonna be a hard task. Okay, so this needs to be baked now, and what I can do here is see if I can continue this class. I was not gonna build the other arm in here. I don't want to make the baby hand right now. It's very hard to touch anything in here. I need to bake before building his arm, so I feel more comfortable doing that. What I could do here is work on this arm, like place it there again and work on this arm. But I also already made one arm in class. I don't really need to do the other one, but I guess we could do some stuff here maybe. I don't know, or I can just answer questions and we can just chat, because it was a fast class. There's not much I can do now. I really need to bake that sculpture. Yeah, so let's just chat. Like, does anybody have any question or want to say anything? While we chat, I can get this arm here and start filling the gaps before I build it. I build the arm, just so the arm does not move. No questions? Some classes, there's not, we can't really go too far. For the baby's hair, I use a couple different things for hair. For him, probably I will just use the viscose thread, because he's gonna have to go in the oven, and I want his hair to be very straight. And sometimes if you put overlock thread, the hair gets a little, in the oven, if you put in the oven, it gets a little bit not curled, but you know, a little bit messy. So let me show you guys some options for hair here as we're chatting. So I'm working on Terry Fox right now, and I'm using overlock thread, which I love it. It's my favorite because I'm dropping everything, because we can, have to open a basket here. When we use Overlock Thread, we can mix up different colors until you reach the color that you want. So this is Overlock Thread, and these are all the threads that I'm using to make Terry Fox hair. I'm gonna zoom in here and put something in the back so you guys can see better. So this is Overlock Thread. And Overlock Thread is just a sewing thread. Let me show you. That's just a sewing thread for overlock machine. And each thread comes, it opens in a bunch of thinner thread. So let me get a one thread color. This is one thread, and it opens up in a lot of other threads. So that's my favorite, because you can mix up the colors until you reach the perfect color that you want. I had a little bit of hair here that I made for Terry Fox, but I don't know what it is. So anyway, so these are, like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors together in here. And I'll show you guys once, when we roll it together this way and cut, it looks bad right now because it's not mixed, but then you got a toothbrush and you brush it until, usually I do longer so I can hold it around my finger. You brush it, and then all the threads are going to separate from each other and kind of blend in together and make one nice color for the hair. Because if you get your own hair, they're not all the same color. Like, you do have lighter and darker hair in your head. So you see, when you mix up, it gets pretty natural, natural colors. And I really, really like to use that as hairs. But the only thing is that if you don't do anything, like if you curl and use hairspray or anything else, or if the hair is like tied to the back or something, and it can't go to the oven, it doesn't affect the thread. It's really good. But if it's loosened like that, like just this way, and you put in the oven, it might get a little bit, you know, when you kind of like burn, it kind of like get like, it does like, I don't know how to explain. It doesn't get very straight if you don't put any product or if you don't curl or do anything. And the little baby has kind of like a pointy hair up, so I don't want to use the overlock for the baby. So for the baby, I'll probably just use viscose hair. Let me get you a sample here too, so you guys know. And for the mom, I will probably use overlock because, oops, I have black. For the mom, I'll probably use overlock because I want it to be very straight and without messy parts. So this is viscose hair. It's just, yeah, frizzy. It gets frizzy. No, not really frizzy, but you know when it burns and it gets a little bit like that, like very small waves on each thread. So this is black viscose, yeah, crispy, something like that. So this is viscose hair. And it's really thin, so I think it's going to be perfect for the baby. And this one doesn't mess up in the oven. So I'll probably use that for the baby. I don't really like working with viscose hair, though. Because it's not every thread is not like full length. So when you do like, sometimes when you're, and it gets frizzy, if you do like braids, for example, I'm going to do braids for her, then you get some frizz. Let me show. You get some frizz because the hair is not all the same length, while the overlock thread it's all the same length, so you don't get the frizz. And the natives have like a very nice thick hair without any frizz freezies. I don't know how to say that. And that's why I think I'm going to use that for the baby and Overlock Thread for the mom. Because also the mom, I will just place her hair when she doesn't need to go in the oven anymore. So there's no worries. Besides, she's going to have braids. So even if I need to put her in the oven after, I can with the Overlock Thread. And those are my only options, really, because I'm vegan, so I don't use mohair. I do have some mohair still that I bought before I was vegan that I use it when I need, but I don't buy mohair anymore for like more than 5 years now, so it's not really an option to count on it. So yeah, that's the plan for her hair. Anything else? I don't know what else I could teach in this class because I really need to bake her. And she's pretty much done. I really want to finish her this month because this is, I don't know if it's in the United States, but in Canada it's the native month. It does feel like we're one big family, right? Yeah, I love those live classes. Sometimes I do record it because there's a lot of baking between the steps. So for example, today I was in doubt. I asked the students if they wanted me to record because then I could go further with the class, the patron students, but they prefer not because they like the vibe on the live classes and hang out, even if we can't go too far. So let me tell you guys about some news. I don't know if you guys saw that those skulls are available on my Etsy store as well. This one is just black clay that I put it in here just to look more like a skull. There's the jaw. Where's her jaw? Her jaw is somewhere in here. My table is a mess. My office is always a mess. Just when I'm recording is not, but it's all fake. It's actually a big mess. I do have the skeletons available too. This one is missing an arm. I don't know where is the arm. They're all on my Etsy and on my Amazon store. I have both. And now I am also making available some eyes for everybody. Before I used to just make it available for my Patreon students, but now I'm making it available for everybody. So these are eyes that are at the store. So this one is a 5mm size that will fit this skull. So just so you guys see kind of the size of it. Just fits this skull. And this tiny little guy here that is really, really small. But if you look close, the colors are very good. It's hard to record those colors, but they look really good in person. So, and these are available and they fit. They fit this little guy. Are you? Oh, that's nice. Thank you. If you guys want to support my work, you're welcome to join my Patreon, and I have those classes weekly. I will have some vacation time during the summer. I always like to have, but there's plenty of classes, like older classes there that you guys can go ahead and do it. So the skeletons come with the jaw separated, so you can just place it in the position that you want. Oh, you're doing John Lennon? Cool. Send me pictures. If you guys make anything out of my classes, send me, like, make a story and tag me. I'll be glad to share. I love sharing and seeing you guys work based on my classes. Yeah, and if you are on Patreon, if you're a student on Patreon and you want to be added to the students chat, we do have a chat on Facebook. And we chat the whole week. We share pictures. We share successes, we share frustrations, we share everything in the chat. It's really fun, and we help each other through the process. So for example, we had 2 students that decided to work on MUN House, and they were helping each other in this chat, you know, giving support to each other. And if they have doubts and they are available, I'll just answer them too. So it's really nice. Yeah, if you want me to add you on the chat, if you join my Patreon and you want to be added to the chat, just shoot me a message on Patreon, send me your Facebook link, and then I can add you to the chat. It makes it easier this way. And on Patreon, I also have the opportunity to just support my work with like $1 per month or something like I don't know. There's like a few options in there. So I'm just putting some some clay here just to Oh, cool. Just to keep the hand in the right spot. And then you can bake that, or you can just keep on making the arm and just bake once you can actually fit over the baby, and then you know it's in the right spot. There's different options. Yeah, Diana made Amy. It was Diana and Anna. They both sculpted Amy together. Even though the class was done like years ago, they just decided to do it at the same time, two students, and the classes are all available, and you can always do any of my older class that is in there. And it's only $10 per month, and you get access to all my previous classes and my weekly lives as well. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to finish the class here. It was a short class. Unfortunately, we didn't have a lot to do. But I will prepare this arm, let it ready for next week, and then maybe next week. Well, I have to paint the baby dress. I don't know if you guys want me to do that in class, because the painting the baby dress, it's going to be pretty much the same as I painted her dress. And yeah, I have Van Gogh class. So I don't know if you guys want me to come back already with everything ready, or if you want me to paint and do everything in class. It's really up to you guys. Would you give me any tip for right proportion? Of course, I have all the right proportions tips. Well, this skeleton really helps you to don't lose the proportion, because it's already all proportional. And for legs and arms, yeah, you guys can do Van Gogh when I take my vacation break. After the native, I'm going to take a vacation break. And then you get these images from YouTube, from Google. You just search for Loomis, Loomis proportions, and there is the male, the female, there are some kids, and he's very good with proportions. And you follow the measurements. That is actually the same as my skeleton size, so that's why I have it available here. And you just follow all the measurements here. That's the easiest way. Like, I mean, you could learn all the proportions tips, and comparison, like foot same size as this part of the arm is the size of the foot, this is the same half of this, the body, and the body is like 8 to 7.5 size of the head. So all of that, you can learn them, and you should, but the easiest and faster way to do, if you don't have any clue, is just make sure to follow a reference and measure everything up. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna go, and I'll be back next week, probably live. Don't be afraid, guys. I'll be there. I'm gonna take vacations for the lives, but I will be on the chat supporting my students. If you guys have any doubt or you need me during my vacation, it's okay. You just send me a message and I'll answer you. I'll help as much as I can. All right. So that's it, guys. Let me finish with a good look at her. Let me put her arm back again. Oh my gosh, she looks so nice. I love her. I really do. Have to be careful here. And see you guys next week. Yeah, and this skeleton is available at my Etsy or at my Amazon store. To find my stores, the best way, it's going to my website, www.julianalupine.com, and you can go in products or buy a sculpture. If you go to sculptures, you're gonna land in my Etsy. There's only eyes available on Etsy. The eyes are not available at Amazon, just on Etsy. And if you go products, you're gonna get to my Amazon. All right, guys, so see you all next week. And let's finish her up. Soon, she's almost done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this class. You guys too have a great day. Bye-bye.